5 attitudes that men love about women. In this video, you will discover what turns him, so to say, what turns you into a magnet, right? So I'm always saying like, bees to honey, baby. Now, of course, if you are ready to discover how to be the most attractive woman so you can attract this incredible man into your life, then comment right below, I am ready. I'm Antia Boyd, founder and creator of the Magnetize Your Man method. And look, this is the channel where we magnetize your man so that the man you desire pursues you forever. Now, of course, if you like my background or anything else I share in this video, please give it a thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe as well. And sharing is caring. So do me a favor and forward it right away to one of your girlfriends. Now, of course, listen all the way through for a surprising added bonus at the very end. So let's go ahead and dive right into the 5 attitudes men love about women. Now, what I've seen in working with women for over 10 plus years and helping them attract the right man for you is number 5 is charisma. So charisma, what I mean by that, what's actually one of the definitions is to have a wide range of emotions. So that actually means being able to step into your anger, your rage, or your sadness, your softness, that collapsing part, or the silly, the giggly, the outrageous self, right? Or the helpless self, like just, I have no idea, I don't know. Right? So like all the different parts, right? The woman who has charisma is able to play. It's like a piano, right? She's able to play the lows, the high keys that makes up, of course, an incredible symphony that, of course, is music to a man's ears. But not only that, it causes also a state change inside of him. So he's like, wow, this woman is not predictable. Like, I don't know where I'm at with that woman. So this is very interesting. Let me continue to invest more time, money, energy, however he shows this affection to you, into you, and gives you the respect that you deserve. Now, of course, I'd love to know from you, where are you watching from? Number 4 is she has capacity for intensity. Now, let's actually define what does that mean. So picture yourself on a date. So what I see with those women that I work with all the time is that, they may say something that feels uncomfortable or that feels vulnerable on a date. And then what they don't have is this capacity for intensity, right? To actually hold that intensity that they feel inside of themselves. Instead, what they do is they go either into denial, they laugh, they compensate by asking the man more questions that then, of course, leads the man to talk more about himself, and he doesn't learn anything about you, and he actually leaves the party, so to say, the conversation, the date, and is rather confused. So he knows that there was something that felt intense or that felt different or that felt charged, but then it wasn't addressed. So it's like an incongruence that the woman showed. However, like an attitude that a man really loves is if she can hold that intensity. So let's say you shared something vulnerable with him. You're able to take a deep breath and be able to advocate for yourself and maybe even mention that it makes you feel a little bit vulnerable, that you feel a little bit insecure, but it makes you feel a little uncomfortable, because that way he actually gets to feel you. And when men feel you, they trust you. And when they trust you, they connect with you and ask you out again. So if you like this content, again, give it a likes, share, subscribe, all the good things. Number 3 is what men really love is when a woman is self-invested. Now, what I see over and over again, the biggest myth is that the way you treat a man, that's how the man should be treating you. Nothing could be further from the truth. The quality of man that you attract into your life is directly proportional to the relationship that you have actually with yourself. I know. Shocker. So let's actually talk about why are you not self-invested? Now, oftentimes it starts with an emotionally unavailable parent and you didn't get your needs met, but you learned that you get approval from the outside world when you focus on the other person. So now you learned to leave yourself, to leave your needs behind, and instead fulfill other people's needs. That, of course, doesn't work because you attract more people into your life that give you opportunities to fulfill their needs. However, they actually never fulfill your needs, or when they want to fulfill your needs, it makes you feel uncomfortable. Right? You feel almost like an embarrassment, a shame. There's something wrong. I don't trust this guy. There's something that he's getting out of this. He wouldn't just do that to do it. Right? So you want to actually learn how to be self-invested, to put yourself first unapologetically and break through the fear to be selfish or to be self-absorbed. Because the news is you want to be actually selfish as well, because that also brings respect and turns you into a magnet. Number 2 is be a unicorn. Now, what do I mean by that is actually be in your unique self-expression. So don't look like what Susie's doing because she gets all the men, or don't look like what your coworker's doing because she always gets called back after a date. But instead, you actually want to focus on yourself. You want to be a unicorn. You want to be a unique who you really are. So if you're quirky, if you're silly, look, I did the fish dance. It's so silly. I did the chicken dance. I did so many silly things when I met my husband. And normally he wouldn't even like that, but he loved that about me because it was me authentically, right? The spontaneous outburst of joy speaks so much to the masculine, right? And that actually makes the man want to pursue you more and wants to meet more of your own needs, right? It's like really seeing like, wow, there's all the different colors, there's all the different facets of who you really are. And he gets really fascinated because when you express who you really are, you actually live on purpose, you're on a mission, right? And he actually wants to see, wow, what's inside of this woman, right? That's actually so different from all the other women. Now, there's also ways to actually stand out in online dating profiles as well. So you don't want to just share what everybody else shares, but you want to share something that's unique, like a unique travel experience, maybe unique favorite song, and so on. And finally, what men really love, number 1, is acceptance. Look, men will mess up. They will fail, right? They will hurt you. They will do something wrong. But the question is, what are you doing with that? Are you shaming him? Are you emasculating him, right? Are you making him wrong? Or are you being accepting of it? Now, I'm not talking about being accommodating. I'm not talking about being a people pleaser, a doormat. But I'm actually talking about when you are in power, when you could hurt him, you actually accept him for who he is, right? So maybe he's not the best navigator. So interesting story that I heard some expert share when I interviewed them on my podcast, and where he got lost, he took the wrong exit. They ended up totally somewhere else. He didn't know where they were. He also wasn't really good at reading like maps. And so he was terrified what the woman is going to say, right? And that she's going to basically emasculate him. But instead she said, oh, well, this is like the perfect place to enjoy a sunset. So this would be an example of acceptance. And in that moment, he knew that he's going to marry her. Now, that's one thing, accepting him. But that also, of course, requires you to accept yourself, right? Because if you criticize yourself, then you criticize the man, or vice versa. So you actually project out the relationship you have to yourself. So also working on how you can accept more of who you are, so that he can actually feel good about making you compliments without feeling uncomfortable because you don't really trust that he really means it or he has to prove it to you. But if you're actually accepting of even your flaws and your shortcomings that you certainly have, and he tells you that he loves you, he tells you that you're the one for him, he tells you that you're his priority, you're actually able to believe that and to accept that. Now, before I go into the bonus secret, share below which of these do you exhibit. Now, for those of you who stayed until the very end, the bonus is, the last attitude is being edgy. Now, what happens is most women that come to me have more this rounder energy, right? There's no edge to them, right? There's no outspokenness to them, nothing that causes respect. But instead, it's like people pleaser. People roll all over them. Men are taking them for granted. They delay calling them, or they just like cancel altogether, or they ghost them, right? So there's so much disrespect. So there's such an imbalance because they're being liked, and there's a lot of rapport, but they're not being respected. And also, there are no boundaries, right? They're not able to set boundaries, to hold boundaries, to have men accept their boundaries, and so on. So men love when a woman is also edgy, when she says occasionally no, when she knows what she really wants, right? When she knows where she wants to eat, when she can hold her own in a conversation, in a dialogue, and even in an argument with him. So that's something that you want to check out. Now, if you want to discover a 30-second trick to make any man desire you, then hop on over to triggerhisdesire.com. And watch next. When a man deeply loves you, he will start saying these 5 things. Lots of love to you, ladies, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.